So we've got this fascinating case study you shared from cognitive market research, and it really got me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's about this manufacturer, a big one, and they had it all, seemingly. Good products, competitive prices.
Right, the basics.
You'd think they'd be set, but nope. Customers were leaving, churn rates were up,
Classic problem, though. Happens more than you'd think.
and that's what intrigued me. Why? What was missing? Our listeners have faced this too, maybe not at this scale, but still.
Absolutely, that feeling of doing things right, but
Yeah.
something's off.
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack that. What went wrong for this manufacturer? What did cognitive market research find? And the big one, the takeaways for all of us. How do you build brand loyalty that sticks? We're going beyond buzzwords here, folks. Real insights. From churn problem to some impressive results they got, all about connecting with customers on a deeper level. But first, set the scene for us. What was the manufacturer struggling with, specifically, straight from the case study?
Okay, so yeah, the core issue, as you said, was customer churn. And it wasn't like their products went downhill or competitors suddenly got way cheaper. The case study's clear.
Yeah.
They were losing customers despite having those fundamentals in place.
Like trying to fill a leaky bucket. You keep pouring in new customers, but they're just slipping away. You're not getting anywhere.
Perfect analogy.
And it sounds like even before they called in the researchers, the manufacturer had a sense of where the problem might be.
They did. Their own analysis suggested that, yeah, the basic needs were met, product worked, price was fair. But they started thinking about those less tangible aspects, like how did customers feel about the brand? Was there an emotional connection? Did the experience feel personal? They suspected that was where the gap was.
So more than just the transaction itself, it's about the whole experience, how the brand fits into people's lives, and what happened. The case study says customers were drawn to brands that just vibed better with them, their values, preferences.
Exactly. People see their purchases as reflections of themselves now. They want brands that mirror their beliefs, their aspirations, not just a good deal.
Voting with their wallets, almost.
You got it. And that's why they brought in cognitive market research, to crack the code of loyalty, figure out those drivers, and turn things around.
So cognitive market research, the loyalty detectives, what was their approach?
Three main pillars, as laid out in the case study. Understanding the customers deeply, then using that to engage with them in targeted ways, and lastly, tracking how well it all works constantly.
Okay, let's break it down. Pillar one, deep consumer insight analysis. That sounds like the groundwork. What did that involve?
It's about going beyond demographics, getting granular. They use sophisticated segmentation techniques, basically, grouping customers not just by age or income, but by what drives them, what the value. The goal was to pinpoint those emotional needs and any pain points customers had with the brand or the whole product category.
So it's not just knowing who your customers are, but why they do, what makes them tick, what bugs them.
Precisely. And they used a mix of methods. Surveys to get a broad view, focus groups for those deeper dives into feelings and motivations, and even social listening, seeing what people were saying online, capturing the full picture of customer sentiment.
A 360-degree view. And what did they find? What were the key insights that bubbled up about loyalty in this market?
Big shifts in consumer priorities emerged. Authenticity was huge. People wanted a brand that felt genuine, transparent. Personal values were also key, aligning with the customer's own ethics, beliefs that mattered. And lastly, personalized experiences. People wanted to feel seen, understood, not just another number.
Authenticity, values alignment, personalization. It's like the trifecta of the modern consumer. So armed with these insights, how did they translate that into action? That second pillar, targeted brand engagement strategies.
This is where the strategy gets real. Knowing who they were dealing with, they ditched the one-size-fits-all approach. They designed strategies tailored to each customer segment, speaking to those specific needs and values.
Bespoke engagement, huh? Give us some examples. How did that look in practice?
Personalized marketing campaigns were key. This meant messaging, content, even offers, all crafted to resonate with each segment's values, preferences. It's about creating that feeling of, hey, they get me.
If a brand's talking my language, I'm way more likely to listen. What else?
They revamped their loyalty program. No more generic rewards. Instead, benefits and perks tied to each segment's interests, making it truly rewarding, building that sense of belonging.
Loyalty 2.0, not just points, but stuff you actually care about. Now, pillar 3, continuous performance monitoring. Why was that crucial?
Because things change. What works today might flock tomorrow. They needed to track how well the strategies were doing and adjust on the fly. Cognitive market research helped them set up a system to monitor key performance indicators, or KPIs.
And there were a few specific ones mentioned in the case study, right?
Yep, three main ones. Customer lifetime value, or CLV, basically predicting how much revenue a customer will bring in over their entire time with the brand. Then, Net Promoter Score, NPS, measuring how likely people are to recommend the brand. And lastly, customer satisfaction, CET, good old-fashioned happiness with the brand experience.
So, by watching these numbers, the manufacturer could see if the strategies were actually working, affecting customer behavior and sentiment. And those regular feedback loops mentioned in the case study, that was about using the data to tweak things.
Spot on. It's about being agile, responsive. You don't just set things in motion and hope for the best. You watch the data, see what's working, what's not, and adjust based on what customers are telling you.
All right, so they implement this three-part strategy, and the case study talks about some pretty impressive results. The after effect, as they called it, what happened numbers-wise.
Well, within a year, they saw a 20% drop in customer attrition. That's huge. Customers were sticking around.
That's solving the original problem right there. And a 20% swing, that's got to be good for the bottom line. But it wasn't just about stopping the bleeding. They saw growth, too, right?
Absolutely. Repeat purchases went up by 15%. So not only were customers staying, but they were coming back for more. And naturally, customer lifetime value got a nice boost too.
A positive feedback loop. Happy customers, engaged customers, sticking around, spending more. And the case study says this was largely because the personalized stuff, the marketing, the loyalty program, it really resonated with those customer segments.
That's the heart of it. They understood their different customer groups, spoke their language, and built those strong, meaningful connections. But here's the cool part. It wasn't just about holding on to existing customers. The case study mentions that this whole values-aligned approach actually attracted new customers too.
So it's like a double whammy, keeping the old, attracting the new, all through a deeper understanding of who you're talking to.
Precisely. And zoom out to the big picture. That's increased market share, a reputation for being customer-centric. Those are long-term wins.
It's not just a quick fix, it's a whole philosophy shift. Now, the case study also talks about how the client benefited, specifically mentioning opportunity cost. What does that mean here?
Think of it this way. Opportunity cost is what they were losing because of their old ways. Ineffective marketing, churn, all that. By understanding the root causes, they stopped throwing money at stuff that didn't work. They could then redirect those resources to the strategies cognitive market research developed, the ones proven to work.
So it's not just about what they gained, it's about what they stopped wasting.
Exactly. They cut losses from churn, from bad marketing, and because they had those customer insights, they could spot new opportunities too, contributing to that market share growth and higher customer lifetime value we talked about.
Strategic, efficient use of resources. No more shooting in the dark. And the case study says this data-driven approach also saved them from expensive trial and error.
Yeah, they went from guessing to knowing. Less time wasted, less money wasted, more confidence in their actions.
This case study really highlights that loyalty isn't just about having a decent product at a good price. It's deeper than that.
Oh, way deeper. It's about connection, feeling understood, aligning with values. That's where true loyalty comes from, and that's how you beat churn.
Makes you think about your own experiences, right? As a consumer, you can tell when a brand gets you, and professionally, it's a reminder to really know your audience, whoever they are.
It really does. And this whole success story brings up a final thought. They used external research to get these insights. But what about our own blind spots? As companies, as individuals, what are we missing? What assumptions do we make that stop us from truly understanding why people stick with us or leave? Something to chew on long after this deep dive is over.
Food for thought indeed.
Absolutely.